What Lies Beneath is the newest film playing in theaters. Well, one of the new ones. I still haven't watched My Damn Friend Zoe. That review is coming tomorrow. And I think that this movie, though, I just ended up having to see this one first. This movie's pretty interesting because it's directed by someone who actually directed a documentary about the real life event that this movie's based on. So I gather I've not seen that documentary. It's for rent on Amazon Prime for $5. Might jump on that. Not sure yet. But basically, because that movie he directed, you kind of get the sense that this is a movie with a more realistic feel. Because of that, him direct this movie, and so there's certain things about this movie that really work, but some of the things that don't. I will say this is a movie that's worth seeing in theaters, but you should not watch it the way I watched it. Let me explain. So, I went today on a Tuesday. I went into the theater, and I saw it in a D box theater. Now I don't like D box. I've only done it a couple times. I saw Nope in D box, Jurassic Park in D box, and this movie in D box. And I didn't like seeing the first two in D box because there was a lot of talking scenes in those movies. And D box, if you don't know, is like a format where the seats are supposed to shake and vibrate to the motion of the movie. Well, that sucked watching those two movies because I was sitting there watching it and you're like, seats shaking, vibrating motion of the movie. And it just was bad because I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm just vibrating the motion of the movie, just going with it. Okay, but like how do I explain it? It was bad in the sense that while the movie was moving to the motion of the seats, because there was talking, uh, there wasn't any movement in the seats. So it's just kind of like, what's the point of this? And then the motion was just like a slight shaking or whatever. It wasn't very good. But only time I could see this movie was in D box. So I said, "Fuck it, let's go." And my tickets are free because I work at the theater, so I get down there, watch the movie in the empty theater. It's very claustrophobic, this movie, and when you're watching this movie, where they're literally showing you a countdown on the screen since the last time this guy's took a fucking breath, and the sheets are going, you're like, okay, it just was not the ideal way you want to watch a movie like this. I really did not like watching the movie in this format. It was just bad because I'm alone in that theater in this very claustrophobic movie, and it's making you feel like you're underwater with him. It's a very tense movie, but also I'm with no one around me, so it's like fuck. It made this movie way more intense. Not a great way to watch it. But I do really like this movie. I think hot take though, I'm not a big fan of Woody Harrelson as an actor. I just most of the time he's been in a couple things that are okay, but most of the time I just don't buy him as an actor, and this movie means no different. But Simu Liu was cool to see. He's a really good actor, but just how tense this movie and really well directed this movie is. It really communicating how tense the situation and him going underwater was really great. I think though you could tell this movie is probably trying to be more realistic to the actual event that this is based on, of this guy getting trapped underwater like this. Um, that it did kind of lean into that so much that it kind of got rid of some movie tropes of like, hey, that would have actually aided this movie. Like the wife didn't know that this guy was trapped underwater and there was a possibility of him dying, and he felt like maybe if the movie had that connection, it might have been stronger. Certain things like that would have worked to really aid in making this movie more intense and more well structured. But that's a nitpick, really. I think the movie we got is pretty good. This is not a movie I would recommend missing out on seeing in the theater because just something about that dark theater really helps you feel like you're underwater in this tense situation that really works. and added a lot to this movie. So let me know your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe.